Welcome to momentUM. I'm Kelly Garrett.
And I'm Adam Jones. Thank you so much for joining us. The Mass Communication program hosted Media Day earlier this week in the Student Activity Center. The event included a networking fair with professionals in the fields of broadcast, journalism, corporate communication, and public relations, as well as a panel hosted by Mass Communication alumni and other panels about how communication with 2020 vision.
We're highlighting one of the local businesses here in Montevallo. The Art Studio offers classes for students in grades K through 12, and they also offer adult and family workshops, as well as private parties.
So it started as an adoption fundraiser, actually. We have 3 biological children, and my husband and I were talking about adopting. We ended up starting Projects with a Purpose, and that was, I started doing hand lettering and painting things, and then it ended up being classes around my kitchen table. And then our adoption was final, and I kind of looked at him and said, what next? Like, what do we do next? And so we started looking for a place and found the place in Calera, and that's where we opened up originally in 2017. So we were a place for creative classes. That includes somewhat fine arts, but we consider it more fun art than anything. But it's for ages 1 and up. So we do kids classes on a weekly basis, and that runs each semester when school's in. And then we do summer camps for kids as well. We also offer like paint and sip classes for adults on a weekly basis. The biggest thing I have seen is confidence. A lot of the times ladies that come in, and you know, kids they're creative anyway. They come in creative, and so I don't really even have to worry about them. It's just teaching them the techniques. But for adults, we've kind of lost that sense of creativity and that confidence that we can be creative. And so I really love being able to give that back to these ladies that come in. We have some guys that come in, but it's mainly women. But I've seen so many come in, and they'll come in that first class, and they're like, I don't know how to draw a stick person. And I'm like, well, good, we're not doing that. So they get, you know, we kind of loosen them up and show them that you can be creative. It just takes finding your way of being creative. But then seeing them come back, and their creativity and their confidence and their ability and their willingness to try new things is always fun to watch. I would say all of our classes are no experience needed. We have some that have not painted in years, some that have never painted, some that have never done some of the classes that we offer. And then we have some that have done it before, and they're just looking for something challenging or something new to do, or just a night to have fun. So I kind of vary it based on what their level of expertise is. So while we may be doing the same thing, I can help somebody move farther along. So I don't necessarily change what we're doing, I just help them where they are. I took art for 4 years in high school, and I was one of those overachievers in high school and did everything, and so I was burned out by the time I got done. So I put it down for a while, and then after our oldest was born, kind of picked it back up just as a hobby. And I'm actually an elementary ed teacher from my past life, and so I'm kind of combining my teaching skills with my art skills and just the gifts that the Lord's given me, and I'm able to use that.
The Art Studio is located at 730 Middle Street. For more information about what kind of classes and workshops they offer, you can call them at 205-369-2195 or visit their website at artstudiomontevallo.com. We're now going to take a live look into Block Hall. momentUM correspondents Stephanie, Michael, and Matt Renna are there. Steph?
When we come back, we'll be talking with Karen Graffio about an art exhibit that traveled all the way from Cuba.
Gain art school experience with a liberal arts education at the University of Montevallo. Visit montevallo.edu/COFA. Create your future in art. You belong at Montevallo.
Welcome back. I'm Matt Renna,
And I'm Stephanie Michael.
and we're here with Professor Karen Graffio to talk about the newest exhibit in the gallery, Azul Blue.
Oh, thank you so much. This exhibit is an opportunity for me to share what I describe as a radiant cultural diplomacy between Cuba and the United States. So in the gallery, we have a collaboration between 34 Cuban and American artists. It is very difficult to go between Cuba and the United States. It requires a special visa, a cultural visa for Americans to go to Cuba, and at times Cubans have no access to a visa to come to us. We are only 90 miles apart, and it occurred to me as I stood in Havana many times and looked across the 90 miles of blue water and air, you can even see the lights of Key West and Miami at times. So it occurred to me that the blue could be the genesis, process, and result as a way to create an artistic collaboration. The artwork that is here is seen primarily in pairs. The way the collaboration first began, I asked American artists to give me 2 pieces of their artwork, and I would hang in Havana the American's artwork, and then the Cuban would work on top of the artwork. And so we have, for example, the cyanotype by my chairman, Scott Stevens, is embroidered and painted by the Cuban artist Lesbia Ventdemas. Sometimes the collaboration happened within one piece of artwork, or as a result of carrying the artwork to the Cuban artist to see. Now, I would like to add, just to illuminate how much this collaboration means to me, because of the embargo, which affects not only Cubans, it affects Americans. Because of the embargo, it's not possible to even mail a piece of artwork to and from Cuba.
Ms. Graffio, could you tell us a little bit about we saw there was a specific piece. You can tell us a little bit about a piece that you collaborated on that had a personal relationship to you.
Oh, yes. And this part of the gallery is a collaboration with an amazing woman, Cuban woman, Natalia Bolivar. The exhibition is dedicated to Natalia Bolivar and then the Cuban photographer and journalist Julio Laramendi that did this piece right next to hers. In this collaboration, I took to Natalia a vintage photograph that I printed and found that was one of my relatives in Mississippi. And I felt like she had been discriminated against and hidden from history. So I asked Natalia if she would collaborate with me on this piece and give my ancestor her spirituality. Natalia is not only an artist, she was a revolutionary. She was active with Che Guevara and Fidel in the revolution. She's also a Santeria priestess. One of the topics that I'm documenting is the Afro-Cuban religion, Santeria. So by exchanging these artworks physically, there were some limitations. You see the size is rather consistent. Southwest Airlines has a flight between Atlanta and Havana, and I chose the 17 by 22 size because I could carry the artwork that size in my suitcase. And at times the larger pieces had to be dismantled. So I traveled back and forth with Southwest Airlines. They allow you 100 pounds of luggage, 2 luggages. 17 by 22 was the size that could be carried. And I carried the exhibition. It was first in Havana. It premiered as part of the Havana Biennale of Contemporary Art, and now is its second location. So we have ways of seeing each other. This photograph that's on our poster, Lisa Cole, an American photographer, actually went to Havana and photographed Ernest Hemingway's empty pool. Ernest Hemingway was, famous American who helped us to understand Cuba by physically going back and forth. And in this case, the artwork, I think, is significant because it has physically gone back and forth, and it informs how we can see each other.
It's a beautiful sentiment about American and Cuba relations. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have today.
Okay,
but
thank
we
you.
definitely encourage everyone at Montevallo to experience the exhibit, and you can get that information from Kelly and Ryan. We're back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. The show will be held in Block Hall Gallery from February 13th until March 6th.
When we come back, we'll talk to senior Jeremy Villar about his upcoming BFA show.
Create your future as a social media manager, filmmaker, journalist, and so much more with a degree in communication studies and mass communication. Visit montevallo.edu/COFA for more information. You belong at Montevallo.
Welcome back to Momentum. Joining us in the studio today is Jeremy Villar, senior photography student at UM.
He's here to talk about the BFA show that he'll be putting on later this semester. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad y'all guys could have me.
Absolutely. So how long have you been into photography?
So I've been taking photography. I picked it up right out of high school. So about 5 years or so now, and it's really been a good part of my life.
Absolutely. So what's kind of your concentration like? Are you more into portrait, or what's your photography style?
So like when somebody asks me that, I say people and horses because I like working with people, but I'm an introvert by default. And so when I get tired of the people, I can go and hang out with the horses for a little while, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So like I'm starting to get in photography. So
Yeah.
like I've taken like some portrait photos. Like what would be some like advice that you would give?
For somebody just starting, I would say just like doing what you're doing. Find something that you enjoy doing, like people, landscape, horses, whatever it is, and just kind of go after it. The skills that you need will follow, but as long as you have that love there, that fire to begin with, you'll be all right.
Absolutely. So what kind of classes here at Montevallo or skills have you learned here that's helped you to further that career?
I'm so glad you asked that. So, like, the biggest thing for me here at Montevallo has been like learning how to tell a story. I know that sounds cliche, but not just make images, make things that have soul to them, are more than just pixels on a phone screen. They have depth, they have meaning to them. And I attribute a lot of that to Karen Graffio. She's been really instrumental in doing that.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy, thanks again for being here.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for watching.